So are y'all following this Google versus Gonzalez situation with the Supreme Court? My understanding of it, and it just came across my feed this morning, the Gonzalez family is suing Google for its role in some ISIS attacks. And what their claim is that YouTube's algorithm allowed for recruiting due to the way the algorithm works, like putting certain videos in front of people, and thus has a role in the violence that occurred. The debate and the discussion as far as liability goes is there's something in the Communications Act, it's like subsection 230C, which states that social media platforms are not responsible for content. It's only the sole primary publisher that's in fact responsible for that content. The debate and the discussion has to do with how much does the algorithm influence the publishing strength, so to speak. And so the Supreme Court's hearing it, and arguments are being made back and forth. I'm curious if the Twitter files are going to come into play with this, and the exposure of how there's been influence upon the algorithm. Tricky part is this is going all the way back to 2015. So we're talking, what is that, almost 8 years ago now? So certainly the algorithm's changed. The consequences that the talking heads say that we may face would be the obliteration of the algorithm. So instead of the you may like this feed on your homepage, everything would just be chronological, similar to what it was back in the early Facebook days, or even hearkening back to the MySpace days, which some people say is fine. And I guess the discussion I'm trying to ask in our little friend group, and Shafe, you can actually chime in on this, because while it is in the Supreme Court, the events occurred in 2015, so this isn't a current event, so you can chime in, I think. But would you want that? And do you actually use your home feed? My home feed tends to only work good on the weekends when I'm like hardcore listening to music, and it gives me like the predictive thing that I'd want to hear next, music-wise, like in my homepage. It doesn't work so good during the week when I'm trying to squeak in my friends' videos, or I go to sleep to a biography on General Lee, which, man, real good biography on him, by the way, going all the way back to his West Point days. What an amazing leader. Oh my gosh. Blew me away. That's a good biography. I should, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put the link in the description just in case that lowers me on the algorithm. Which, algorithm wise, would they then pull off the channels that get shadow banned? You know, is that going to now come away? Like, we go back to video responses and shared video responses, and we can actually, as publishers, we can actually control the content that we want associated with our video. Wouldn't that be marvelous? All right, that's my 2 cents. I think the issue with expert systems, and this is what comes into play, I think the one hearing, the first video that I watched on it was Clarence Thomas was interviewing this one particular expert, I think, and it had to do with trusted sources and what the algorithm sees as trusted sources against what the algorithm doesn't see as a trusted source, and how does it file, and what responsibility does Google have. So they're breaking this down pretty good. It's an interesting discussion. But all right, y'all, have a great day.